Mute everything. Hey, it's DocSwiner. How are y'all doing this great Saturday? Come on in. We are going to do our second installment for Medical Minutes, which I'm calling this September series of Saturdays. We're just linking with a couple of my friends, my colleagues in the medical field from my personal life. Hey, everybody, I see you. Dr. Kendra, I see you. To talk about different things regarding health that I'm most interested in. Hopefully you'll learn some things and gather some tips that you are interested in as well. Today, Miss Miko Pierson of Miko Haircare, also Pixie the Prophet, is joining us today. We're going to talk about hair relaxers and hair health. So I see that she has joined. Let's see if I can invite you, friend. Let me see. Invite. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about hair relaxers, these things that we have to consider. Hey,
hello, doctor.
How are you, Miko?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. Where are you hanging out this Saturday morning, afternoon?
I know, I'm at Juice Keys.
You chilling?
I'm chilling. We're going to get something to eat.
Excellent. Hello, Miss Leslie. I see some of our friends joining there. Y'all say hello to Miss Miko, who is my most favorite hairstylist in Durham.
Thank you so much.
I can't say all of North Carolina, so some of my friends might get in their feelings, but definitely in Durham.
I'll take that.
So she is here. Miko and I have had a very intimate relationship. You know, Black women in particular have a very intimate relationship with their hairstylists, their cosmetologists, because we see each other often. We talk about life. We talk about work. They see literally what's happening with our health. And can often tell you ahead of time, even before you know that there might be a health issue, they can tell you a health issue is happening, right? Because your hair, your skin, your nails, those things will tell on you.
Absolutely.
Right, if you're not being healthy. So hey, Be Exclusive Transportation, that's Banky. Hey. So I'm excited to get to talk to you about specifically this topic that I've not been able to delve into a lot yet.
Right.
I've been like hearing bits and pieces and reading some of the literature. But I haven't really delved into it in detail, so I'm glad to be able to talk about that stuff. And as you all know, there are a lot of things popping up now in the literature about hair relaxers, Black women's health, the potential risk of cancers and other health issues, specifically breast, ovarian, things that Black women unfortunately lead the list in terms of risk and occurrence. So we want to be as cognizant as possible of all the things that we can do to help mitigate those risks. So that's what we're talking about. Absolutely. And so, Miko, for folks that don't know you, and if you're in the North Carolina area, if you don't know Miko, you must have your head in the sand. But if you haven't met Miko yet, Miko, please introduce yourself to the people. Hey, Katrina, I see you.
Hi, Katrina. Well, my name is Miko Pierson. I am a cosmetologist of 30 years. And I am transitioning to education. I've always been told I need to go into education. I've had my license for many years to teach in a beauty college, but, you know, I love these streets. So, you know, I'm excited to be here to talk about this alarming situation that we're going through as African-American women. When I started way back in the day, I knew that this was going to come eventually, the trajectory of African-American women losing their hair.
Really?
Absolutely. It was Haley Berry's hairstylist years ago. He talked about it, and it has taken off, especially when we changed to, I know we're going to get into this, but when we changed into going the natural hair way, you know, I saw that kind of go into a lot of people starting to just not wearing relaxers at all. But it started another issue, which is hair loss, significantly around the edges and in the crown because of covering the hair up in protective styles. So we got a lot going on here with hair loss, even with our diet and things like that. So I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, and so like I said, your hairstylist is another piece of your healthcare team because, like she said, she can tell hair loss around the edges, the crown, those things mean certain things. There are different triggers to different types of hair loss. I remember when I got pregnant, it was about to have my child. My hairstylist told me, all right, now I don't want you to panic, but at 3 months postpartum, you're gonna lose your edges. And I was like, what? What do you mean? She was like, the hormones change. It's going to come back, but you will see these things. So she was able to tell me, like, predict, okay, this is going to happen. No, taking a whole bunch of these extra vitamins and do all these, that's, your body is going to naturally, you know, do its thing, and they prepare you for that. So I think it's very helpful for you all to, cosmetologists, and have as much health knowledge as possible so you can help your clients.
Yeah.
So let's talk about hair relaxers in general. What are they? What are they made up of? You know, what are hair relaxers to those who may not know?
Oh, that's a good question. So we have hair relaxers or chemicals that we put on curly hair or kinky hair to straighten it out, to loosen the hair shaft, to make it more manageable, to absorb more hydration. Sometimes the cuticles are shut down so tight that it needs a little bit of opening. And so you can use it for alternative ways to manage hair as well. It's not just for straightening.
Gotcha. So you just mentioned some of the common reasons why clients will seek hair relaxer treatments. So, you know, what about it do you think made it so popular however many years ago, and why are they still popular now?
Okay, well, Madam C.J. Walker created that years and years ago, right?
Okay.
So she created it to give us a different way to wear our hair. Sometimes back then, I don't want to get into my political girl, you know, like Black Power, but it was to straighten the hair out, right? To be accepted, you know, for, you know, sociably, right? Way back then. But now, even today, when a client come in and want a pixie, right? So can we do it on natural hair? And that's the question a lot of people ask. And, you know, what is the purpose of looking sleek? Or what are some of the positive things? We can just smooth our hair and go, like mold it down like this and go. We can work out and sweat. You know, some people are dealing with menopause and they still want this a sleek, edgy look. And those are the type of things that natural hairstyle, you know, doesn't give. It's a sleek look. You can do it temporarily, but let some water or some humidity get to it, right?
Right, like this summer, right?
It will, like, over time, it'll, like, some moisture gets into it while you're walking around and back at a little TWA. You know, those who don't know, it's teeny weeny afro, right?
Your natural state. Your natural state. Yeah, so Dr. Kendra said, poof.
Exactly.
The nature comes back. Yeah. And you know, there are beautiful styles no matter what you choose, whether you choose to have straight and relaxed hair, whether you have kinky curly, natural curly hair. All hair is beautiful. You can wear it in all types of different styles. Black women in particular, I think we have the added benefit of being able to be versatile. So one day we can do one style, the next day we can look completely different, but hopefully, you know, still keep it healthy. What do you say, you know, this is a little bit off topic, but what do you say to those who choose to get away from the hair relaxer and go natural because they want to be healthier? What do you say to those clients?
I embrace it, you know, because I am, you know, torn, right? Like, I embrace that we are loving ourselves, we're accepting ourselves as we come into the world, right? But good hair, and I want to put this out, good hair is maintenance hair. It's maintenance hair.
Quote unquote good hair.
Good hair. Let's change that mindset of what's good hair. It's hair that you're taking care of. You're moisturizing and you're doing the work at home, right? Or you're getting it done, right? And so I encourage people to learn what their hair, learn their own hair, right? Learn what it do and what it doesn't do.
Right.
Because everybody is different. We can't, like, copy so much. Get a professional to help you with those decisions. But I would just say it's a beautiful thing to embrace your natural hair. Even with your eating, your diet, everything about yourself. You want to do the holistic wellness. That's all beautiful. I'm into that. So, you know, but whatever, sometimes hair needs to, you need to be fast, getting in and out. People's routine, they're busy women, so they want to get in and get out. So whatever helps you do that, that's important.
Yeah, I know we were talking about being healthy from within. We laughed because you showed me a lot of TikTok videos about some folks out there that are, making all kinds of claims that, rubbing watermelon or rubbing raw fruit and washing your hair at the bowl with cucumber juice. Does that stuff actually work? Does that help at all for hydration and health?
Well, I do believe in products, right? Products do help.
Yes.
But I do believe in what's going on in the inside, right? Some people say, what can I do to make my hair, what can I do to make my hair healthy? Well, what can we stop doing first? What are we doing? Because if you put a bandage on something, if you continue doing plucking a sore, then eventually it's not going to heal. Over time, it's not going to heal. So let's find out what's going on. Let's find out a little bit of history. What's going on, what happened with your mom, your parents, and so forth. And then let's go on to, absolutely. And then let's go on to these habits that we're doing. And just habits is what create a good maintenance program for you.
You're absolutely right. So rubbing the fruit on your head but not eating fruits won't help, is what you're saying, right? You don't want to speak out against these folks that are telling you the stuff on TikTok. So rubbing a whole watermelon on your scalp, if you're not eating watermelon on your faces, won't help. Got it. See, I got it. Without you even saying it, I got it.
Okay.
But hydration, staying hydrated, drinking lots of water, taking your vitamins, but even more importantly, eating those foods with the vitamins in it is better for your hair than trying to put a whole bunch of product and trying to repair the damage that you've created internally.
Yeah, so let's talk about hair growth comes from the blood flow, right? It comes from the blood. So let's stimulate. How can we stimulate and vibrate and make it alive, right?
Yes.
So you have essential oils, right? So essential oils, you got peppermints, you got eucalyptus, you got those things that can wake up the hair follicles, the blood flow, and what you eat, your vitamins, and your lifestyle will tell on you. It just tells on you.
Yeah, you can't lie. Your hair, your skin, your nails, all that stuff will tell on you. It'll tell you what you're deficient in. It'll tell you what toxins you have going on. If you're drinking too much alcohol, smoking too much, right? Your skin, it'll tell on you. It'll tell you. So to get back to hair relaxers, what is it about hair relaxers that we're so worried about? What's in the hair relaxer that we're worried about causing negative effects to health?
Okay. So when we think of the word chemicals, right? Because it's not a natural, and we're in a world where everyone wants to read the ingredients and want to find out, okay, natural, right? But you have to look at the word chemicals. When you really look at chemicals from a science point of view, you're looking at most things are chemicals. You got things that we have in our house that help us clean up. Those are chemicals too. So when we think about what's a synthetic chemical versus what's a man-made chemical, what is versus a natural chemical. So you have relaxers that are man-made with sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, those type of hydroxides, and they are high on the pH scale. Okay. They're very alkaline. But then you have those that are natural that are lower, that won't do as much damage. They're very mild, like a soy-based relaxer, like keto-specific, that we were talking about before.
Yeah. So you talk a lot about soy-based relaxers. Is that something that you've transitioned over to using more? Is the soy-based ones?
Well, it's much more expensive, so I haven't broadly put it out a little bit at a time to see those who want to invest in and want to keep their hair straightened. But there's other ways that we can go about, alternatives that we can go about it as well, depending on that guest. Everybody is not hair care is not a cookie cutter thing.
Right. Everybody's different. Let's talk about me, for instance. So I've had a relaxer off and on since my teens, like most Black women. Started out in my teenage years. Getting relaxers probably back then every month to 6 weeks or so, like clockwork, 'cause that's what we did.
Right.
Keep our hair straight, to keep it doobie wrapped. That's what we did.
Absolutely.
And then up till started getting, a little bit of protective styles as I got older. So occasionally I would have braids so I could, last a little bit longer without having to get a relaxer. I cut it probably right as I was having my first kid, so price is 12. So about 12, 13 years ago, I started cutting it short. And there would be periods where I could, depending on the stylist I was working with, if she was on board and was keeping track of when I was getting relaxers, I would sometimes go longer and longer without getting one. I even had a period during the peak of the pandemic where I tried to go a year without one. That was interesting. But we weren't getting our hair done that often because we were in shutdown. I think I was working with you and probably working also with Alexis. Shout out to the pharmacist in Raleigh, working with her. And there were times where I would, particularly up in the front, I would try not to get a relaxer at all, and we would only try to focus on like the perimeter, because I was hearing more and more about the chemicals, about these chemicals that I've been exposing myself to for decades, you know, and potential health risks. Thankfully, knock on wood, you know, I've been healthy so far, but there are periods where I'll try to extend the amount of time before having to do another relaxer. So working with someone who's a licensed professional, who knows about hair health, who knows how to get you the look you want without having to add in a whole bunch of stuff. I did take a pause also from dyeing my hair. I used to every year put a little color in it. So at one point, instead of doing permanent, I think Alexis and I switched to temporary. And then you see this gray coming in. I'm just letting the gray flourish now. It's been a long time since I've had any color, but I try to stay away from the hair dyes as well, just to give myself a break. So, you know, what types of things, and I'm okay with you sharing personal things. We've talked about the hair loss. I've had a little bit here. You can talk about some of that. I give you permission. But what types of things do we try to incorporate with my hair when it comes to relaxers and treatments and all that to keep it healthy?
Yeah. So what we do with yours, because of your texture, right? You have soft hair, and but the good thing that I like working with short hair because it doesn't take a lot to keep a style. So we skip over doing relaxers in the top a lot, right?
Yeah, we try to
go longer
avoid this area.
So the main thing is that, you know, around here, if you sweat and it swells up, it's going to change the whole look. And I tell people that, you know, when you're talking about a woman's hairstyle, you're looking at health. It's two sections: health and what's trending, what's known to be beautiful, right? We may be in another part of the world what's beautiful, right? But here, you know, this is what we like, and they're on the opposite sides of the scale. You know, they kind of like fight against each other.
Yeah.
So
what's considered beautiful and what's considered healthy.
Right. It's almost like, okay, we love these colors. What does it do? It dries the hair out. It shrinks the cuticle shaft, right?
Yeah.
What we like it smooth. So what does it do? It shrinks the shaft, right? Think of dropping an Alka-Seltzer in a glass of water. If you have water, you think drop Alka-Seltzer in there, you leave that, come back tomorrow, what's going to happen? It's going to be powder, right? It's going to just be dry. It's going to be desert. And that's kind of what happens into the hair shaft, especially with a calcium hydroxide relaxant. So we have to, you know, consider what's the balance of it.
Yeah.
Right. So so I have decided not to completely eliminate relaxers, but how can I still arrive to what you want with being fair and balanced to your hair and the integrity of myself and for what I'm presenting. Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, so we can dilute it with water first.
Okay.
Right? We can saturate it with water and we can run some relaxer through with a big tooth comb, right?
Keep it on for a short time and a long time.
Change the timing of it. And the key thing is to avoid scalp, right? And we can avoid scalp by using, you know how we use foil for relaxer, right? So we put foil in so it won't touch the other hair, so that hair won't get colored. Well, we can do the same thing with relaxer. We can put foil in it so it won't lay onto the scalp. So these are ways that you can be innovative as a stylist to be able to help keep that from sinking into our clients' scalp. Because we forget that the skin is alive. It's alive and it's absorbing. It's ready to suck in when you're putting on it. And so that's how we ended up getting these lawsuits. But the more I research it, the more I'm not getting a direct, you know, what's happening scientifically.
It's very conflicting.
Get all the way down to the woman parts.
Right. So to be clear, the studies are still ongoing. There's still not definitive evidence. If you read one study, it conflicts with the other study says. The thing that I saw most recently was a 2020 study that showed the link between Black women specifically being about 30 times more likely to have things like breast cancer, ovarian cancer with the use of hair relaxers. But does that mean that the hair relaxers were the trigger, or does it mean that Black women, unfortunately, are already at risk for these diseases, these cancers, and those women just happen to be users of hair relaxers? We're not sure, but there is a possible association that we want to pay attention to, because again, we want to try to be as healthy as we can. So if there's a way that you can either transition away from or avoid for a longer amount of time, whether it be, you know, instead of getting a relaxer every 4 weeks, try to extend it to 8 weeks, or like you said, instead of putting it directly on the scalp, try to lift it up off the hair, or keep it on your hair for a shorter amount of time, you know, hopefully that you'll be more healthy in general.
Right. Yeah. And so with the longer length of time, let's think about that too. It depends on the texture of your hair, because if you have really, really tight hair, you got a lot of demarcation when the hair grows back. The wavy hair goes back, you have a little line across where your last relaxer was. Yeah. So that wavy hair goes back, it's a weak point, and it will break off. So waiting longer and having a hard, bone straight hair will break that hair off. So sometimes 8 weeks is not the better for tight how
I see.
Right.
I see.
So we have to consider that. So it's always, there's no cookie cutter.
Yeah, yeah. How about for these ladies that may be still doing box relaxers at home? The old school. I mean, you know, if some people have to do that because they have to do it. What do you say to these folks?
FaceTime your stylist, get her on while you do that. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, so number one, get a stylist.
Get a stylist.
Number one.
Still
number two.
Still have a stylist, FaceTime her. I love FaceTiming my clients when they're at home and they're just doing random stuff. And especially if they only have two right thumbs, they're not really talented, right? Yeah. So I love seeing them and guiding them through, because, you know, I'd rather use my mouthpiece. I love, you know, when I'm off work, invite me in and let me see what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah. Do you do consultations like that? Will you do one-on-one consultations like that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell clients if they're scared to shampoo their hair at home, because my number one fight is to get us to do more things at home with our hair. So if you have a haircut, it's not shampoo and conditioner that we have a fear in. It's the styling part that we're so vain, right? We just want the end part to be cute. But so we'd rather leave out the front part in order to just, you know, keep our hair cute from the hairstylist, right? But
that's true.
So the thing is that, you know, if I can just get more people to shampoo their hair more often, even between their visits, just because we master hygiene everywhere else on our body. The scalp is a living organ, so we need to be able to keep it clean and keep it, you know, so then therefore pores aren't clogged as much.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, it's a lot to go into it when it comes to hair care.
Yeah. So I think the goal is, you know, if you haven't mastered your own scalp and hair health, get your own stylist, get your cosmetologist that knows you. Again, just like having your primary care, your gynecologist, your urologist, get your stylist that knows about your scalp. And this is important for men too.
Right.
Because men, not only do they, you know, deal with their hair here, they deal with it on their face and all that. We all have to care for that stuff, and you want to make sure you're doing it the right way. So get you a good stylist you can trust. I have a number of them in this area that I love and support. Yeah. Miko's the one I see probably most frequently. Now she's here in Durham, but she is available to answer your questions. Please tell people how they can get in contact with you if they want to ask specific questions about their hair health, or if they're a cosmetology professional that wants to be in business and do more for their business. How do they get in touch with you?
You can get in contact with me through Miko Haircare in my Instagram, or on Facebook, Miko Haircare, Miko Haircare. Or you can also use Pixie the Prophet. That's the one we're on now. Pixie, it was just a haircut, to Profit, T-O, Profit, meaning the money, right?
Yes.
And then so you can do either one, and I would love to talk to you. Just because I love what I do, and I love people as well.
Yeah, and you have products of your own, right, that you've developed.
I do, and I focused on our I focus on not so much the cleaning part, but the hydration part, because most of us want to like keep that shine, keep their hair hydrated at home. So I focus on that part. So I have a elixir that helps out with stimulating the hair growth, right? It has the peppermint oil in there, rosemary as well. And then I also have a shine thermal protector. So it gives you a shine gloss and it also helps against humidity and flat irons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, so we heard it. You heard it here first. The end all be all is get you somebody you can trust that will help teach you and talk you through the right things to do for your hair. Do we think, can we say 100% that hair relaxers lead to cancer? I don't think we can say at this point 100%, but with some of the associations we've been seeing in literature, there's a way that you can decrease, avoid, shorten the length of time that you have it, that you're exposed to it, then do so. But do what feels right for you. Do what's healthy for your individual head. Is that right?
Absolutely. I'm with you on that one.
Yes. All right. Any last words for our folks about hair relaxers or their health?
Just make sure that you contact your cosmetologist. Find one that is not just a licensed cosmetologist, but someone who is deeply invested in passion. It makes a whole lot of difference when it comes to choosing the stylist for you.
Excellent. All right, Miss Miko, thank you so much for taking out some time on your Saturday.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see y'all next Saturday, where I think we're talking about the benefits of having a good rapport and good relationship with your physician, your medical provider, particularly for Black women. All right, y'all.